Have you ever thought about what you would do if you knew today was your last day on earth? Like, really thought about it? It's a question I ask a lot of my students, and I've been blessed to train folks all over the planet, even on the grounds in the slums of India, the mountains of South Cuba, the valleys of Wales, the sands of the Caribbean, the streets of Los Angeles, and everywhere in between. And one of the questions I ask everyone I teach is, if you knew today was to be your last day on earth, what would you choose to do? Hey, some say they'd go on an adventure or do the things that they had always put off, or they'd spend time with loved ones. Some say they'd sit on mountaintops to gaze out at the glory or sunsets and all that good stuff. Some say they'd even attempt to right wrongs. And some say they'd even proclaim the glory of God to everyone they saw to give them hope for a future. And as a person of faith, I believe all those answers are great answers. They are good answers. They're all right answers. And I think if we had the ability to know when our last day would be, we should have the right to decide how it's spent. But here's the thing. Jesus knew what day would be his last before he set his face to the cross. And in that day, Jesus chose to serve. Jesus chose to even wash the feet of friends who would abandon and deny him in his greatest hour of need. He even chose to wash the feet of and dine with the very one who'd hand him over to those that would crucify him. The Son of God, the one who put the planets into motion, true love himself, chose to serve. Let that sink in. Because you can build the biggest ministries with the biggest church buildings on top of the biggest hills with the biggest audiences. But if you think serving people and helping others is beneath you, then true leadership, kingdom leadership, will always be beyond you. If you're not willing to bend your knee to serve in humility, even serving those you think are of no use to you, it's fair to ask what spirit you're of. And quoting a little Bonhoeffer here, for he comes in the form of the beggar, of the dissolute human child in ragged clothes, asking for help. He confronts you in every person that you meet. As long as there are people, Christ will walk the earth as your neighbor, as the one through whom God calls you, speaks to you, and makes demands on you. And in Matthew 23, someone very important said, the greatest among you must be a servant. But those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. It's time we proclaim that the day of the celebrity pastor and the church leadership as some summit of power that's the pinnacle of perfection that lords over others instead of serves others is over. True leadership in the kingdom of God is not marked by how many follow us, but by how fervently we follow Christ's example of unconditional love and service. It's not about climbing ladders. It's about lowering ourselves to lift others up. This is the path of true greatness in the eyes of God and the true power of the upside down kingdom. We don't bring the good news because of what we get in return, and we don't serve institutions to gain position or favor. We serve people because we love. We serve people because we are moved by the same love that compelled Christ to wash the feet of his disciples, to reach out to the outcasts, and to give his life as a ransom for many. This is our calling, and this is our mission. And in this, we find the truest form of leadership. Anything else is missing the fullness of what he has for us. God bless. See you soon.